and once again, welcome back to another episode of Weathering 101. Today we're going to weather this gondola car. It's a covered gondola. These were used primarily for carrying like sheet steel or coiled steel until, of course, specialty cars for that were brought out. Coiled steel cars, of course, coiled steel comes in big roll. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rust up the top a little bit. You know that one of my favorite weathering methods is using, you got it, eye makeup. Shall we get started? Hey, what we're going to do is, to get started, is I'm going to start by rusting the top a little bit by using earth tones. Remember, for rust, you want to use the earth tones. Remember that you can pick these up fairly cheaply at places like Dollar General, and most dollar stores have cheap mascara like this, cheap eye makeup. Look for the more orangey colors and stuff. You'll also want to use of course, you'll want to try to find black. That's a little bit harder color to find. You find that maybe at Walmart, where I found it. Sure does bring out the detail when you start bringing in the weathering. You know what I'm saying? If I had enough pieces of rolling stock, I could take and really do this up right. You know what I'm saying? You'll want to vary your colors a little bit so that it, because everything varies in nature as it weathers. Well, it shouldn't be any different on your model rolling stock either. Just let it vary. And as you can see, it begins to come out a little bit. I don't know if that microphone on that camera is picking me up real well. If it isn't, I may have to hook the microphone up to the computer and go from there. And just redo it. Now remember, on your lighter colors, you want to use, like a lighter colored car, you always want to use your darker colored mascaras, or your darker colored eye makeup. Yeah, or even if you're painting it or whatnot, or you're using chalks or whatever to weather your cars. On the lighter colored cars, use the darker colors. On the darker colored cars, such as the mineral oxide red boxcar, you'd want to use lighter color weathering stuff. It does begin to really make the car come out, doesn't it? Don't even know if you can see that. Let me go ahead and zoom in on this. As you can see, it begins to bring out, the nice thing about weathering is it brings out the detail in the model. We've all seen those armor modelers and what they can do. They do a fantastic job. Now you might be wondering why I'm starting with the roof section of the car. Well, just like in nature, the rain comes from above, and the dirt flies and literally lands from above. Now we want to work down the side of the car, and since the car is a bright Chinese red, you may want to use a little bit of white. You see how that brings that out a little bit? Begins to take on a different hue, doesn't it? And then come in with a little bit darker colors. And that kind of really dirties it up a little. Now remember what I told you in the very first episode here about using eye makeup. The neat thing of it is you don't have to attach it with a clear coat, such as Tester's Dull Coat or anything, because the more you handle the car, you're rubbing off some of that makeup each time, the more realistic it begins to look over time. Remember, I'm just using the normal applicators that come with the eye makeup. See how much better the car looks? We'll go from one end of the car to the other. Now see, that car now looks like it's got a few miles on it. Get a little bit of your more rusty type colors and come across the trucks. You know, kind of gives those trucks a used look also. Even on Delrin, this stuff seems to work just fine. Don't forget the ends of the car. Or the ends of your roof. By the way, the roof sections on these are, unless you glue it down, it is removable. I keep mine removable because sometimes I like to use the gondola as a gondola, which basically that's how Athearn did it. This is just an old standard Athearn gondola with a roof section made for it. Remember what I said before, if you feel guilty about going into the cosmetic department and buying eye makeup, have your wife do it for you or your girlfriend do it for you. I mean, you know, she knows what you're up to, I hope. Although there are some strange guys out there. Anymore nowadays, they don't really give you a strange look anymore. One of my friends had contacted me a while back, and we had talked about the possibility of releasing this series on DVD. I would like some feedback on that. So if anybody's interested, you know, you may want to look. You know, we may want to look into that. We're coming to an end of it here, so. Let's see how she looks when you run it in a train. And there it is. A whole lot better looking car than it was before. It just doesn't have that brand new plastic shine to it now. Car looks nice and dirty. Looks like it's been, you know, run a few miles down the road. Until next time. Happy railroading.